Hey guys, Mike's Collectibles back at another video, and today it's going to be a very interesting video. I'm going to be talking about, does pop count actually matter when considering key cards and the rising and steadying off of their prices?
I'm Peppa Pig. This is my little brother George. This is Mummy Pig. And this is Daddy Pig.
Well, I think to address this question, we really have to look at, where the market's at and also what key players are targeted in the market, because those two factors really suggest the standard of whether or not a card is actually worth, a decent amount. So when considering this, I think honestly though, those players that are very, very, I guess in the mid-tier of things, the mid-tier of, basketball, and I'm going to be using a metric of basketball rookies in this sense, but I think mid-tier rookies, base prisms, right now, those obviously aren't worth anything. Those don't really have tons of value, and people are, I think the only way that those can sustain value is if their play, obviously is increased and better. Well, we see guys like Kevin Porter Jr. that kind of had this run up a little bit where, he was a mid-tier guy. And he, had a game like no other, and then his card prices are, a little bit more steadied. I just feel like in general, the card market is, geared towards those stars, and the mid-tier players are geared towards flipping, which is a pretty obvious observation. But I'm going to go for the key cards today. I'm going to be going through base values, because I have some base values of these cards here, of some base cards of these stars, and I'm going to be going through low pop cards of these stars. You guys have probably already seen these cards on my channel, but I'm just going to keep, I'm just going to show, does pop really matter when it comes down to, finding values of your cards at card shows, or even, does it really matter when considering the long-term, prospects of the market and whether or not you should buy or sell in that instance? Well, first, I'm going to be going through LeBron James rookies.
LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James.
So here we have an 8.5 Topps rookie. So I'm going to be having like a chart right here of where this card is at. But I think considering Topps LeBron, I don't think you can really lose at this point, because the market, you gotta analyze trends. You gotta analyze where the card is going. And in this instance, the card is downward trending. But in basic economics, but a good market is healthy. And one that downtrends is usually going to uptrend at some point again. It's not going to hit that peak like we saw in February, but somewhat, it's going to be a somewhat increase. So I think looking at those downtrends is going to really play a factor in whether or not you know when to sell or not. Because when you look at those graphs, it just makes you realize, when to sell. And then here's a card that's very interesting. So this Bowman rookie LeBron Gold, I think this card is a complete example of why pop matters in the card market right now. So I bought this card in the peak in February for $2.6 thousand, so 2.6K. And the last sale, like the sale after that, was around 4,000. So, it could have been fake. It could have been real. I should have sold it, But honestly, with LeBron, it's a long-term play for me. So, considering this card, the most recent sale was 2.9K. And this is during a downtrending market. in a soft market. So I just think this is a perfect example of why sports cards that have low pop, this one, there's only one PSA 10 in existence. So technically this card is the 9, if you get what I mean, because there's only one 10, so it's impossible to get a 10. The 9 pop is, I don't even know, maybe like 50, and the 8 pop is around like 50. So like this card is extremely rare to get in a high grade. So I think collectors are starting to take notice of that, and we see this uptrend of a card that's not, it's in a downtrend market. I bought this during the peak of LeBron rookies, and it didn't get a record high or anything, but I could still make a profit on this card if I sold it today, which, you know, I'm not going to take a $300 profit because I'm looking at this from the long-term perspective for LeBron. I want cash for this card possibly, but it comes to show that pop really does matter. And I think investors are starting to look at that and become smart. So I'm going to go quickly through these cards because I don't want to have a super long video. So here's a Ronaldo PSA 10. I'm probably going to have like a chart or like comps right there. And then here are, what's this, Katie? Here's some LeBron or Cristiano Ronaldo Topps Chrome. These are the base, but there's low pop. I'm probably going to have like a graph right here. Pop it in there right there. But for both, but yeah, so looking at those, it's very, very, you know, interesting to look at the market with soccer cards considering pop, because a lot of the cards in soccer are already low pop. So I think the soccer market long term is very good as well, because we see those low pop cards everywhere in the card market for sport or for soccer. So I think soccer long term, you know, is a very good play. Well, when is it going to be time to sell? That's the question for soccer cards. Well, I think the World Cup is going to be a very good time to sell. I think in the height of the World Cup, we're going to see the U.S. national team playing because they're going to make the World Cup. They have Christian Pulisic, Weston McKennie, Giovanni Reyna. They have some very good guys. There's no doubt they're not going to make it. So I think when you look at the low pop cards nowadays, because we have this market that's low trending, we have a market that's down, a soft or whatever you want to call it, but we got to look at these times in the marketplace or certain events that dictate the marketplace, which is going to be large events like the World Cup, which if you've been following sports cards, this law has been, you know, in effect for the past 20 years. You look at key events and then you see the outcome with performance. So I think with the sports card market today, we got to look at that, but also we got to look at pop considerably today, along with that trend of, I don't even know, I should probably have a name for that, but all right, here we got Kevin Durant rookie autograph. So I think also we're going to see a lot of autographs increase in value. Here's a refractor. I'm probably going to have comps for this one right there. Comps for this one. Yeah, right there. And then here we have the PSA 8 Topps. Comps right there. But I think it's going to be evident. I'm just going to keep going through cards and, you know, put comps. It's just going to be evident where we see all of these silvers, autographs, patch cards even. I think the patch card market is kind of dead right now. It should be more. Game used jerseys should be extremely more than what they're actually worth. Because that's a part of the player's career. And I just think jersey cards are super undervalued. Here's a perfect example. Super low pop 1. I could go to a card show right now. I could easily sell this for $500. In my opinion, I think it's super low pop. But then we have this. We have this RJ Barrett optic. You know, comps right there. We have this PSA 10. There's so many out there. It's a liquid card because he's a good player. It's good to use to trade up. but it's not good, I guess, because of this pop, because we see thousands of these in the marketplace. So then we see, when you go to card shows, you see all of these same RJ Barrett PSA 10 optics. What do you think it's going to do for the card market? It's gonna increase panic, because we're gonna see people realize, oh, my cards aren't so special. So then what are they gonna do? They're gonna panic and sell, because they're gonna be super ill-confident or unconfident of the sports card market. But when you really only look at base, you're really only hindering yourself from actually, gaining from the card market. So here we have a Luka 10. I've had this for a while. I already know the pop's 15K. But then we see, well, I'll probably have comps right there. So comps right there. But then we see the rookies. And I'm going to put up the pop right here. And then and also I'm going to put, right here. Here's comps. When you see those two, don't tell me that the PSA 10 Prism should be increasing before the rookies card. When you see the pop, it's pretty evident that Prism is just looked at, obviously, as the brand desired. It's looked at as the brand that's above all brands, which I think, when you look at this low pop stuff, I think inserts are super undervalued as well. Because we see these insert cards that are you can see the odds on packs. They're rare. The inserts are rare. And I don't think people really appreciate inserts like they should. Because insert cards, those are the cards back in the day, even. Those are the cards that were super sought after. Here is a perfect example of a card that is super rare. And guess what? It's an insert. The Netrageous inserts from Fleer Metal. So when we look at these packs and the pack ratios, this insert was like 1 in 100 packs. But then we see everyone knows this. In the 90s, key rookie cards were worthless. Even a Kobe Bryant Topps rookie was worthless back then. They weren't rare. So what does this mean for the card market? Well, we got to look at pack odds. That's mainly the main thing to look at. When we look at this Luka, the rookie, and we look at the pop of Luka Prisms, we got to consider how rare they are. In this perfect example, like I already said, Netrageous, super rare, I think super undervalued, and a super looking cool card. So here's some more Lukas. But also, and then the Hobby, Color, and Prism parallels. Those also, they are diluted. There's a lot of parallels in the market because they've created a lot of parallels. But, this green right here, I haven't seen a decrease. It may have decreased like 10% recently, but I just really haven't seen a decrease in this card in the past year. Also, like the player matters, like I said, but then I'm just looking at comps, looking at pop. I just see these trends. It's just pop. When people say the sports card market is crashing, people are saying the base Prism market is crashing in effect, technically. But the base Prism market is vital, though, in my opinion, because it lets those newer people, it lets them into the hobby. But it's still is a declining market, in my opinion, but it's needed. But I think numbered parallels, I've been saying this, the whole video, nonstop. You're probably thinking, he said this a million times, but low pop numbered is just the way to go. Even when you see the pop counts, it's just, Here's a Zion number to 199. And then here's a Zion True Gem. I'll have comps. And then here is a very good example of how low pop matters. Here on the left, we have a PSA 10 Topps Chrome. And right here, PSA 10, this is the only one in existence. Pop one. There's just, I can name my price on this card. That's also the beauty of low pop cards. You can name your price. That's another beauty of low pop. So when considering low pop, you can name your price. You can name your price. You can trust in the card. You can, and also you can, get top dollar. So those are the three things that I guess I'll say those are the three things that you can consider when looking at low pop, and why low pop should be valid in the marketplace. But then, yeah, like if everything crashes, theoretically, if everything goes to zero, are you happy with the cards you have? And that's what you have to ask yourself. Are you happy with base card, all base, are you happy with, say, you have 100 Luka base 10s that all have a pop of 15,000? Or are you happy with 100 variety of Luka, or even Trey or any other players of their Prism silvers, Prism greens, Prism reds, Prism blue ice, autographs, numbered, parallels, everything in between? Are you happy with those? Or are you happy with 100 base, which are liquid, but are volatile? So that's just what you got to ask yourself. And I think those 3 points, like I said, just consider those when trying to navigate this sports card market. So thank you guys for watching, and peace out.